how to analyze and improve your videos. So assumptions, you either have a subscription to OSSA.AI or you possess the required editing and content creation skills to make short form content by yourself. Just so you know, by the way, these assumptions are here so you understand what are the prerequisites to do this stuff, especially this exact resource. You've created your own niche or you have an existing account within a niche. These are all documents, by the way, that are highlighted. You've generated a profile picture or username. I have a document on that as well. I just published it. I'll hyperlink it here after this. You've set up your accounts. I have a whole entire resource on how to set up your account so you don't get shadow banned, which is really important. If you're getting 0 views or 200 views, this will help. You know how to write viral scripts. There's a resource, and then you know how to select viral sounds. Some definitions so we can get on the same page. I'm not going to go through all of them. I have all these here in case you don't know. What is the algorithm? What's borrowed attention? What's creativity? What's convergent thinking? What are all these things? So I've defined them all because these are all words that are used throughout this entire section. So I wanted to define these so you guys understood what they are. A few important ones that I want you to know. What is the algorithm? People talk about this all the time. The algorithm is just the group of individuals that engage with your content on social media. What is convergent thinking? It's focusing on finding one well-defined solution to a problem. This is very bad to have, and I'll explain that later. Pattern recognition, that's going to be a big one. The ability to identify regularities or patterns in data. This is the main concept in what I'm about to show you, which is going to be incredibly high value. And then just to define it, video performance is simply just the measurement of a video's success through likes, views, comments, shares, and other factors. And just so you know, if you have not consumed all the previous resources, very important you do before you come back to this, but I know I'm sharing this live, so that's okay. So there's a few main concepts I want to cover in this resource. 1, what is pattern recognition? Why does it matter? 2, how do I know why a short form video is performing above average? 3, an example of analyzing short form content. 4, correlations not causation. 5, the privacy policies are proof. That's what we're going to be covering today. So this guide will give you a competitive edge in content creation, changing how you view and use social media. With this approach, I grew my brand personally, Coleworld, to over 7 million followers and 4 billion plus views. No clipping, no copying people. This was all these followers and views are through, quote, unique content, which we talk about in creating a viral niche. What is creativity? But essentially, I've identified a process that I've personally used to grow my brand to get these numbers. Just to give you some background on me for anyone who doesn't know and that's currently in this live. I analyze my content in a way that you've never heard before, and I guarantee that. So that being said, let's dive into the framework. Starting off, very, very important. Pattern recognition is one of the most valuable skill sets you will learn, not only for content creation, but for any business you go into or any endeavor in life. Why do we care about it when it comes to analyzing and improving our content in social media? Because we need to be able to recognize patterns across our past videos and tie those patterns to the reasoning behind why our short form videos are performing or underperforming. But Cole, this sounds complex. I still don't get it. I hear you. So let's check this out. Pattern recognition example. Think about when you first drove to school or work for the first time as a freshman in high school or as an employee of a company. You didn't realize it, but you're subconsciously storing that experience in your brain. Your brain was picking up which traffic lights have the longest wait times, which traffic lights were red, for how long were they red, which were green. This information's useless for the first drive. It's even useless for the first week or two. What happens when you've been taking that route to school or work for a month? You start to recognize patterns. You know which traffic lights to avoid because you've found patterns and which ones are red for a long time. You know which streets to turn on and which streets not to turn on. You start to have a decent understanding of the best time to leave work or school. But what happens when you've been doing this for a year? The patterns you pick up on are more precise and detailed. You notice, and you'll see I'm going to bring this full circle in a second, your neighbor who gets the mail every day or every Monday at 7 a.m. That if you don't leave by 7:15, traffic picks up by 7:30 on a certain street. And then you could risk being late to class or work, or that parking spot that you are typically looking for, or the parking spot you park in is typically taken by 7:45 a.m. So you aim to get to school by 7:40. How do you know all this? Through repetition and picking up on patterns. Why does this matter? Analyzing and improving your content is no different. Each post you publish is like a drive to school or work. On the first post, if you really pay attention, you might get some feedback from the people watching your stuff, aka views, likes, comments, shares. More on this later. But like I said, typically that first drive, aka post, won't give you too much direction on where to go next. But over the course of weeks and months, you'll have enough posts, aka drives, to look back and say, looks like the posts with this type of hook are doing well. Looks like the short form videos with these high attention words causes more people to comment. Looks like the short form videos with these types of sounds are doing well. Are you guys starting to see the picture? Pattern recognition is absolutely necessary for you to analyze and improve your future content. And I know what your next question is. Well, how do I know what patterns to look for, Cole? Remember how we talked about variables in earlier sections of the course? We're going to use those variables and compare them against the patterns we pick up on the posts we create. And anyone that's listening to this for the first time, if you don't know what variables means, They're essentially just elements in a short form video that can be manipulated to affect engagement. What does a variable look like? It's the caption, it's the sound, it's the script, and what's in the script. So that would be the hook, the high attention words, the high attention authority figures, the call to action, the questionable ending. If you don't know any of those terms, make sure to go and listen to and read through how to write a viral script, and all the resources are available at the bottom. That could be the images, subtitle animations, etc. The next thing we want to dive into, now that we understand pattern recognition, is how do I know why a short form video is performing above average? In order for us to evaluate whether or not a short form video is performing above average, we need to have taken enough drives to school or work, aka posted enough videos to be able to have an idea of what average performance means. Let me just explain that real quick. If you have not posted any content yet and you're wondering, how do I get better? It's impossible for you to know what you're doing wrong if you have not posted videos. This is why consistency is important. It's not important because you're supposed to post it this time, that time, or you do 3 posts a day or 6 posts a day. It's important because every short form video post we make is proof that we're either doing the right thing or the wrong thing. And that's the importance of posting. So anyone who tells you post it this time and that time, or post 3 times a day, they have no fucking clue what they're talking about, because there's no specific rule of how many times you should post or what time. The purpose of posting, however many times it is so that you can post the video and then analyze it. That's what matters. And then the more content you have, the more feedback you have, which we'll dive into in a second. But in order for us to understand if it's above average, we need to have posted enough, and we need to know what variables are influencing the performance of short form videos. Because if you're just posting a ton and you don't know what the actual levers are that are making your videos perform, how are you supposed to be able to improve? And that's what a lot of people get caught up into. And a lot of people probably listening to this or watching this are probably in that position. You post a ton of content and you just keep posting and posting. And you're like, why are my videos doing well? It's because you don't understand what's actually causing the videos to perform. You don't know how to analyze your content. And for the sake of clarity, above average just means a video that's performed higher than your usual amount of views. So for example, if you typically get videos that do 1,000 views, then you have one do 10,000, that would be classified as above average. Same thing for below average for the sake of defining terms. Let's assume you've already posted every day for at least the last 1 to 2 weeks, and you have short form videos in your feed to look back at and analyze. Let's move on to the next step. This is a quick formula just to kind of overview what we've talked about. The variables plus the performance of the video plus recognizing patterns equals how you improve. And here we define variables and video performance again. So what are some of the examples of variables that we can play with in a short form video? Obviously the branding, the username profile picture. That's when we first set up our account, which, like I said, is covered in another resource of exactly how to brand your account. Your overall style of content, aka the editing style, the transitions, the colors, the pacing. How do you actually edit your content? What's the style? Is it an anime style? Is it a realistic style? The hook, the main content in your script, right? So that would be all the variables within it. The call to action, the sound you're using, which is covered in another resource in this course. The caption, covered in another resource, and hashtags, another resource. When you're posting, how often you're posting. These are all variables that we play with in content creation. Really let that sink in. These are all things we can change that will inevitably affect how well your video does. So how do we judge the performance? We can judge the performance based on a variety of factors, but just to simplify as much as we can so you guys can really understand this framework, we're just gonna go off of highest views, because that is typically the best indication of if a video is doing well or not. Just so we define terms, and then we're gonna get into an example of analyzing short form content. If a video gets more views, what does that actually mean? Have you ever asked yourself that? It just tells you that there's a variable or many variables, aka something here in our video, the sound, the main content in the script, the call to action. Maybe it's the caption. Typically it is the script though, but it tells us that there's a variable or many of these in a short form video. If a video gets more views than usual, that are more high attention than other variables, meaning something in your video is contributing to higher views. And we need to identify that. And it's not always one thing. Multiple times it's many things. And I talked about at the top here, right? What is convergent thinking? Very bad. We go into that later, but it's essentially looking at, well, this video performed well because my caption. Probably not. This video performed well because of this one thing. It can sometimes be true, but typically there's multiple reasons. And I just wanted to touch on that real quick. But coming back down here, that's what it means when a video gets more views than usual. There's something in that video that we need to find. We need to find why. Because if we can have at least one video go viral, just one, that is proof that you did something right. And if you can replicate that, you just unlocked unlimited views pretty much. But if you create a viral video, let's say you have 14 videos on your feed and one did really well, and you're not looking at that and dissecting it because you don't know how to, imagine if you could have every video perform like that. You can if you use this framework. So if a video gets more likes than usual, what does it mean? This tells us that people want to see more content like it. And the reason I'm defining this is because you guys all do these things So think about when you like a video, what does it mean? Because no one defines this. It just means that you want to see more content like it. The same thing goes for people watching your content. So when a video gets a lot of likes, it's telling people, it's telling you, the creator, okay, I want to see more content like this. That's what they're telling you. And what about if it gets more comments? This tells us that people are more interested than usual about one or more variables. And I'll dive into that in a second because we talk about how to analyze your content or how to analyze your comment section and then use that as a weapon to get more views in the future. So here's my profile here. This is back in 2021 when I was doing Omegle videos and I still had, relationship content that garnered multiple billions of views, but I want to take this example because it's very clear. So here's an example of my TikTok feed. You can see some decent views. Let's take a look at my highest performing videos and let's try and notice any patterns. Do you guys see any patterns when you're looking at this? I just want everyone to kind of look at this. And if you're listening to recording, just pause it and try and guess. Obviously the red is the lower performing and the green's higher performing. If you didn't get it, essentially my Omegle videos are performing the highest. My non-Omegle ones, 100K, 150K, 110K are performing lower. That's a pattern. By just simply identifying and looking at your past content and saying, is there at least one thing I can recognize across all my content? I didn't realize this when I was creating this content, but my Omegle videos were performing significantly higher on average, right? Because some did a little bit worse, but on average than my non-Omegle ones. But I didn't realize that when I was creating the content. This is something I was still ignorant to, even at this point in my career of social media. So like, imagine how valuable this information was. I was still making this mistake. And I'm telling you right now, who might be at the ground level, this framework, because nobody talks about it like this. And it's this simple. And we're going to dive into it in a more micro level, but you need to look back at your content and say, what are the common things that I'm finding across my highest performing videos? And then summarize those together and reapply them to future content. So I hope this is starting to click for anyone who, has never looked at content like this. So let's continue on. So the highest performing videos are Omegle videos, like I said, with the lowest performing videos being non-Omegle videos. The variable that we're looking at here would just be the style of videos, the video style. That is the variable. We talked about what are the variables we can pull from. The style of video. Because we've identified the Omegle videos perform the highest, we know that if we do Omegle videos in the future, assuming in the same style, they're more likely to get more engagement. Boom. So if you can understand that, you understand the framework. If you get that simple concept, and it's really that simple, that's it. And then we're going to dive into it in a more micro level, obviously. But if you can understand this concept right here of looking at your page and saying what is similar across the board, and then you take that and you apply it, which is what I'm about to show right now. That's how you do it. So if we were to dive deeper and ask ourselves what variables are similar across these videos, we could use the same framework that we used here. And if you guys haven't consumed this yet, go here and it will open it up. And this is how to analyze your content. And I talk about this in creating a viral niche. And you'll see as you go through the course, especially if you go from the first to the second to the third document, all this ties together in what I'm showing you right now. But if you have gone through this, you already understand we take down the viral aspects of the video, the variables. They're interchangeably used for me, but viral aspects or the variables. We have the video style. We have attention. We have high attention authority figures, right? What is in the video? Because if you guys don't remember, we basically broke down this niche and said, why is this performing so well? We're doing the same thing to our own content. So with that being said, here's the actual video. I want to showcase it. And then I'm going to break it down in a way that you guys have probably never seen before in terms of breaking down content. Here's the video. Let's watch it.
Someone came in my room.
Dudes. Hi, dudes.
Hi. Yeah. Hi, Mom. What's up? You should have seen their faces when you came in the room. They went from this to us, and then you came in and they went.
I never seen Wait, were you boys friends?
Yo, dude, I kind of feel like I'm getting hit on by your mom. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, no, it's okay.
Okay, one thing I really want you to notice is the ending here.
I mean, no, it's okay.
Right? It's kind of out of pocket, and that's not on accident. All right, so now that we've seen the video, let's dive into it. What can we learn from this video? There's an engaging video style. Omegle is universally known and familiar to the masses. Everyone knows it's Omegle. It's high attention. It gives the viewers two things to look at, right? We're breaking down this, by the way, right? What else? It also has engaging authority figures. Anthony and I are well known in the content creation space and with Omegle, so people care about what we have to say just because of who we are. That's what a high attention authority figure is, right? I break it down here. There's an engaging editing style. The scene's constantly changing. Lots of fast cuts, no empty silences. There's a visual, audio, and verbal hook. Within the first few seconds, the girl stops talking and she looks up and you can hear the door open. The viewer wants to know what's going to happen. So a hook doesn't always have to be verbal. It can be visual as well. If you watch that video back, once I give you the document, you'll notice you're like, oh, whoa, that kind of hooks me in. Yeah, that's on purpose. What else? There's high attention words. You know, there's a mom. People might say like MILF, right? As a joke. Right? There's a group of girls talking to two guys. Everyone wants to watch that. They're like, oh, it's two decently looking dudes talking to a group of girls on Omegle. I want to watch this. Or high attention. You know, me getting hit on, that's high attention. Like there's like kind of a sexual suggestion. High attention, right? These are all universally known in high attention, relatable words and topics. There's a questionable ending. Right? No, it's okay. Me saying that, when I told you guys to pay attention to that, I'll really pull it full circle in a second. And that's called a questionable ending. I've talked about that in how to write a viral script. If you don't know what a questionable ending is, I talk about that here, right? No, it's okay. So people can wait and think, did he just say that it's okay that their mom hits on him? Right? I need to watch that again. That's the goal of a questionable ending, is to have someone say, what was said? I need to go watch that again. That is a questionable ending. So that's on purpose. And this goes with faceless content as well. If you can put something at the end that makes people think, I need to watch that again, you've hit the jackpot. And then the sound used behind the video matches the emotions and the pacing. It's goofy and funny, medium pace in terms of how fast paced it is. And it matches the emotions and pacing trying to be conveyed in the video. On top of that, it's universally recognizable. I cover this in the how to select viral sounds framework. So if you don't understand this, no problem. Go check out that framework. That's linked at the very bottom. So this is massive. This is so massive. And I'm about to show you guys, I've never seen someone break this down how I'm about to break it down for you. And if you understand this as well as understanding how do I look at the variables in video, how do I analyze my past content? If you understand how to analyze the comment section, you've won. 100% you've won. And this is something I've never seen anyone talk about. So this is a mini framework, incredibly powerful. The comments are one of the most important variables for you to analyze in your content, especially in your highest performing videos. And the comment section is literally proof of why people watch your short form video. Every time you look at your past short form videos, I want you to find the top like comments and ask yourself this exact question. What is this comment telling me? Let me explain. So here's the comment section from the above video. And I want you guys to take a look at this. I'll zoom in a bit. And I want you to just look at the top like comments. Just read through them real quick. And I want you to try and understand, what is this telling me as a creator? Imagine you're in my shoes and I'm looking at this. And if nothing comes to mind, that's totally cool, because I'm going to explain it. But I just want you guys to look for a second. Just think to yourself. Now you guys have looked at it. Here's how I look at it. And here's how I want you guys to look at your comments. So what is this top like telling me? 40,000 likes. She's meeting a future husband. So it basically just says she's meeting a future husband. I'm not sure if it's for her or her daughter though, right? So what is that really telling us? It's telling me a couple things. So the first thing is, the reason people watch this Omegle style short form video was because of what was in the actual video. Seems kind of simple, but this is the type of process my brain goes through. Okay, so people watch this because of the interaction, right? People think it's funny that the mom was hitting on me. Okay, if I found, and this is a big one, if I found another mom on Omegle, people would most likely watch that video. That's what it's telling me. Okay, like if there's something to do with meeting a mom, that's what it tells me. And I know that's kind of more broad, but let's dive into the next one. What is this comment telling me? They went from these emojis to these emojis, and they're talking about the girls on the screen, right? The girls were like, oh my gosh, they're talking to two guys, to, oh no, my mom's walking in. This comment is telling me one very important thing. People are engaging with my Omegle style videos because of the reactions from the people I meet on Omegle. If you go back and you look at this content, and we have more examples, this video is high performing, which I'll explain in a second, because of this reaction of this person. This video is high performing because of the reactions of the people in the video. That's a variable I've recognized. So now my goal in future content is to do two things. What have we realized so far? Number one, stop making these random one-off videos because they don't perform. Make more Omegle videos, right, is number one. Number two is understand that the reason people are watching is because of the reactions of the individual. So if you can have great reactions, that's why people are watching. If it's a boring reaction, people are probably not going to watch. Okay, let's dive deeper into it. All right. And this is, I explain this too. If you go look at all the comments and all the other short form videos that I have during that Omegle era, the common pattern that I found is that across all Omegle videos, the most viral videos were because of the reaction of the person I met or something they did as a result of me meeting them. This is pattern recognition at its core. It's understanding there's a pattern across all my videos. It's because of the reaction of the individuals, because of me doing this certain thing. So if I keep doing that thing, then more people are going to watch. these comments are telling me exactly why people engage. So let's go through another one. What about this one? He said, no, okay. So if I go up here, no, it's okay. Remember how we just watched the video and that was the questionable ending? AKA that was the thing I put at the end to make people think, what did he say? I need to watch it again. That was kind of out of pocket. These people right here are confirming to me that it was a good decision to put a questionable ending, because there's literally 8,000 people agreeing that if I continue to put something kind of out of pocket at the end, it makes them laugh or it makes them want to rewatch. So this is reaffirming that I made the right decision to put that at the end of the video. Do you see how that works? These people are proof. This is essentially like somebody raising their hand saying, hey guys, is this why you watched the video? And there's 8,000 people agreeing. And this works at a micro scale too. If you have videos that are getting maybe 10,000 views or 1,000, you have 10 people that have liked a top comment, that's telling you you did something right there. And you need to analyze that and say, how do I do that in future videos? So what does this really tell me to do? Okay, in all future Omegle videos, I need to put something at the end that's either out of pocket or kind of questionable and makes people think, damn, what did he just say? I need to rewatch that again. Does that make sense? Do you guys understand how valuable it is to look at the comment section? It's giving you proof of why people watched. And I dive into this, right? This also tells me that people, like, we made the conclusion that people watch because of the reactions up here, right? Right here, because of the reactions from the people I meet. But this comment also tells us, oh shit, they're not just watching because of the reactions, they're also watching because of what I say, which is super important, because we can't just hone down on one variable and say, okay, the only reason they watch is because of reactions. And in the future, if I'm not paying attention to what I'm saying as a creator when I would meet with these people, if I'm not entertaining as well, the videos won't perform. So people care about what I do and what the person does. Boom. So we just took 2 more patterns that we found. Cool. And then also, this is another thing, just another micro example, but did you notice the caption, tag your first 2 ats? And it looks like the caption is something that I should consider using in the future. How do I know that? Well, because if I scroll down the comments, look at all these people tagging their friends and following what I said, tag your first 2 ats. So there's an example. And then you can look here and click here if you want to look for yourself. But also, if we drop a caption and we say do something, or we say something out of pocket, or we say something funny, and there's people commenting about the caption, that's literally telling you you have an amazing caption or amazing caption style. Do you understand how that works? You use your audience as proof. You have a hypothesis of, this is the type of content I'm going to make. I'm making this very simple. I'm going to make this type of content. I'm going to use this hook. I'm going to use this caption. I'm going to say this thing. My script's going to look like this. And then your comment section is playing off of those variables you put in place. And they're telling you that was a great hook. That was a great questionable ending. That was a great caption. They tell you exactly what you should and shouldn't be doing if you read into it the right way. And you guys see how I'm talking about nobody teaches this? Because this is how I personally grew my following. Of course, I've looked at retention and, I've looked into charts, but I've never been a very analytical, like, oh no, I need to cut out this part of the video and repost it. Like, this is how you do it, because the algorithm is simply they're just humans watching your content. Yeah, exactly. Someone asked, tag your first 2 ats would work. No, perfect. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's move forward. Also, I hope this is all really starting to click. I just want to remind you guys, all this is free because I want each and every one of you listening to this right now to win, but I want everyone to win. And if you've gotten any sort of value from this, the only ask I have is that you just share this with a friend. That's it. There's all these. This isn't the only resource if you're new. I have 7 of these. It walks through how to create a viral niche, how to actually generate a username and profile picture that's branded, which I haven't even gone over yet, but it's linked. And that goes through literally what is brand? How do I create a branded profile picture? What does it look like? I go through all these things. If you go through this step by step, you literally have all the keys to create a faceless channel that performs, or a personal branded channel, because the same concepts apply. I go over how to set up your account so you don't get shadow banned and what to avoid. I go over how to write a viral script in absolute detail. I go over hooks, main content, call to actions, questionable endings. Then I go over how to actually select sounds, because no one goes over that, and it's so important, and the framework behind that. Then I go over how to actually create captions. So this is all completely free for you guys. And my only hope is that you guys take the time to go and learn these things, because I'm telling you, if you just go and buy a $40 course or a $50 course, all they're teaching you is, I made $10,000 in a month. This is how you can do it. Copy me. It doesn't work. It does not work. I promise you. And the last thing I want is for you guys to start on social media and fail because someone else set an improper expectation of what it actually takes. This is what it takes. It takes going through this whole course and applying it and posting and analyzing your content and getting better every single day. And anyone else who tells you different, they're just trying to make a bag off you, bro. That's what it is. But I know we got on a sidetrack there. Let's dive back into it. So let's go through one more example. So this one, doing push-ups on the table. Why did it do well? You can see 2 million views. Let's take a look at it.
What's up, bro?
Okay, you guys could probably, at this point, you could probably have an understanding of why this performed. But if you don't, here we go. The Omegle style, we talked about that. Gives people two things to look at. We have an engaging authority figure, me, at the bottom of the screen. I'm also a high attention authority figure, as deemed on social media. It has a simple editing style, but that's on purpose because the reason it's silent and we don't have music behind it is because that P-Hub sound is the pinnacle of the video. So why would I put music behind it to disrupt from this style? Also, right away, I'm doing push-ups on a table. There's a visual, audio, and verbal hook. People are like, what the fuck is this guy doing on a table? That's your hook. So you don't always need to, in terms of personal branded content, I know this is a unique case, but there's different types of hooks. In faceless content, you typically have a verbal hook, right? And that looks like, I bet you won't believe this, or wait until you hear about this, type of thing. But for this type of content, it's unique. High attention words. We have, in topics, push-ups, Omegle, we have that P-Hub sound. Obviously, that's very high attention, universally known. Questionable ending. I purposely end the video right after that P-Hub sound ends so that people are like, wait, was that what I think it was? I need to watch it again. It's not on accident. And then obviously the lack of sound behind the video matches the emotions and pacing. Obviously it's very slow, right? So we don't need music. And the emotions are kind of awkward. That's why we have no sound, because it's just awkward. Like, why would we put, like a funk sound behind it? It's going to totally crush the delivery of the video. So the reason is it's kind of awkward. And the main focal point of the video is the P-Hub sound. So why would I put sound behind it? So your sound is really important. We've gone over that. Let's look at the comment section. What is this comment telling me? 2,400 views. The first guy, I can't. People are watching the video because of the reaction. We know that. People are more likely to watch my videos when it has some sort of shock value or edgy topic, right? In this video, it's something, kind of sexual or edgy, right? It's very high attention. This is so important, this second one. Yo, that sounds familiar. Remember how we talked about using high attention things that are familiar? What a great example of using something that is familiar. He literally uses the word, right? He's watching it because it's familiar and 400 people agree. This is a prime example of analyzing your content and looking at this and saying, sounds familiar. Okay, this is telling me that people engage with things that are familiar. This is something that I've talked about throughout this entire course, guys. The highest performing short form videos all have one common factor. They're universally recognizable and familiar. They have high attention things. That P-Hub sound is universally known, and that was not in there by accident. I knew that people would engage. And you can apply this concept to your entire script when you're doing faceless content or your personal brand. Use words, use terms, use sounds that are familiar, that people are more likely to engage with. I've covered this in all the other resources. And we just went over what it's telling us. And I just said this here. Remember how we mentioned earlier on the course, the most common variable across all the most viral short form videos are universally relatable and familiar? Prime example. It's not a coincidence. And I know if you guys have consumed the prior resources, it's really clicking at this point. You're like, oh, I get it. So what can we learn overall from analyzing these two videos? And just note, you want to do this across all your content. And I'm not saying you have to write all this out. That's not what I'm saying. This is a mental process I go through when looking at my content. So you don't have to go and create a Notion page and write all this down. I just have this here so that I can explain my thought process. But I'm not saying go and create a Notion page and screenshot it. Do not do that. It's going to take forever. Please don't. Just want to be very clear. And I wrote that down here as a key point. But what can we learn? Videos on Omegle are performing better than other types of short form videos. If we scroll back up, that was the first thing we realized. Oh, do more Omegle videos, Cole. That's something we learned, and we can continue to get better at. What does this look like for another example? Let's say that you're doing anime story videos, like one of our beta testers at OSSA.AI. What if you find out that stories with Goku in them do better than stories with Naruto? And you look at your content like, oh, whoa, looks like people are commenting a lot about Goku. Looks like they have higher views. What can we learn from this style of content? Right here. We learned that videos on Omegle are performing better than other types of short form videos. If you guys remember, we were just looking at this. We learned, first of all, we need to do more Omegle videos. What does this look like for you? Let's say that you're creating anime story videos And some of your stories are about Goku. Some of them are about Naruto. You look back and you see, whoa, everybody is engaging a lot more when I talk about Goku. Look at the comment section. Everybody is saying Goku's awesome, whatever, right? That is proof that you should make more videos about Goku, not Naruto. There's an example. And you can take this framework and apply it to your content right now if you have past videos. Like at this moment, after we're done with this call, I want you guys to go look at your content, go analyze them, look at the variables which we've been breaking down, and then compare it across all your content and say, why are these videos doing well? Why did this video do so bad? Why did this one do so bad? That's what you guys need to do. That's literally what I'm doing right now. Awesome. Okay. And then I wanted to go through these last things here. So we also learned that the Omegle styles of short form videos are giving people two things to look at, which is highly engaging. We learned that there's always some sort of hook that I need to have, whether it's visual or spoken. We also learned that using high attention words or topics are leading to higher performing short form videos, like I showed up there. Questionable endings are incredibly important is another thing we learned. As I talked about up here, right? The questionable ending here was after that P-Hub sound plays, the video ends shortly after and people are like, wait, was that the sound I think it was? And then they watch it again. For this one, it was a verbal questionable ending. It was me saying, oh, what did I say? I said, oh no, it's okay. So it was a verbal one of me saying, no, you can hit on me. It's okay. And people were like, yo, that's kind of out of pocket. I need to watch that again. That's crazy. He said that? See how that works? So we learned that from just analyzing two pieces of content. Imagine analyzing all your content. Also, the sound should supplement the emotions and pacing of the short form video, which is covered in the sounds document. Okay, so now what? Take a look at some of the new short form videos I created using the information from the variables analyzed from the previous short form videos. Tired from getting push-ups, right? How did this do? 20 or 2.5 million views. Let's take a look at it. Why don't we? Let's take a look and think about why did this video perform, right? For content, it's just me doing a bunch of push-ups and getting really tired. And this is a whole nother strategy, guys. I'm just going to dive into it very high level. When someone drops a huge comment and it gets a ton of likes, especially on TikTok, respond to the comment and make more content similar to that. Because when someone opens up the comment section and they see a top comment with a ton of likes, and then you responded to it with the video, that's a way to farm engagement from your past content. That's a whole nother resource I'll create. But that's what I did here. On one of the higher performing push-up videos, I replied to one of the comments, and then boom, look at this. Free sauce.
3,000.
See that? Universally familiar, that photo. Put it in there on purpose.
1,000.
Another person,
You know, actually, like,
high attention authority figure. See how that works? Again.
Yeah. You're giving me like 8 bars. Are you 8?
She said, you're giving me 18 vibes. Are you 18? And I said 19. And then I end it. And guess what? Some of the top comments are people laughing at that ending. The ending when you said 19, right? The 19. See how that works? Boom. That means I crushed it on the questionable ending. 9,000 likes. This is one of the top comments, if not the top comment. Once again, you see how that works? This is proof that I'm executing my content correct because one of the highest like comments is the end of the video. What does that tell us? It tells us that people that is the best part, essentially one of the best parts of the video, which is great because people are going to rewatch. They think that's funny. When I'm like, 19, right? When she's like, I think you're 18, I'm 19. It's funny, right? It's a questionable ending. There's some sort of ending here that's like, wait, what did he say? That was kind of funny. Let me rewatch it. See how that works? Perfect example right there. So I didn't break all these down. I'm going to share screen again. I didn't break all these down because we've gone through the framework enough, but one very last thing I want to go over for you guys, and we'll be all wrapped up on this, is we use pattern recognition to analyze the variables in these videos. Then we determine why they're performing. Then I created 2 more videos in a similar style, and guess what? They crushed, right? Boom. That easy. Now, this is obviously a micro example of how you can find patterns and what's performing and leverage them. But I'm not saying to just do the exact type of video that performs. This is so important. Please, if there's anything you listen to, it's this. Remember how we talked about creativity in the Create a Viral Niche document? Like I said, we just apply that same concept to our own content. We use pattern recognition to identify what's working, and we steal from our own previous content. But like I said, I'm not saying to do the exact same type of content because this is why. Super, super important. This is very important. They didn't all crush. Look at this one. It kind of tanked. Why? Because I made one of the biggest mistakes people make. Correlation's not causation. Please, if there's any part of this, it's this to know. When I first noticed my Omegle push-up videos gaining a lot of traction, I jump to a conclusion that seems obvious, right? I'm like, oh, I thought that the type of Omegle videos, right, or the type of video, right, which is a variable, which in this case was the push-up videos, was the secret sauce. I thought that the reason these videos were performing was because I'm doing push-ups. And like I said, I was ignorant to a lot of the things I'm teaching right now. If I was to go back, I would have changed it. But I thought that, oh, videos with push-ups are doing well. That's probably the most important variable. I'm just going to do more push-up videos. And then a bunch of them flopped. And that's because I mistaked correlation for causation. And if you guys don't know what that means, just because two events occur together, like the Omegle push-up videos and high view counts, it doesn't mean one is causing the other. And a lot of early stage creators make this mistake. They get tunnel visioned on, oh, it's because of this reason, but it's typically never because of one certain thing. It's many things. Does that make sense? And it's like thinking that a lucky shirt is the reason why your favorite football team or soccer team wins. And you just because when you wear it, they win, but that doesn't mean it's true. And this is such a big mistake people make when they try and use this framework, which has never really been explained, but it's a mistake that I personally made, which is the one thing I want you to take away from this is don't hyper focus on just one reason why your video is doing well, because it's not the case. What does this look like for you, right? This looks like essentially, oh, the video did well because of this caption, and I'm just going to do more videos with the caption. Wrong. The video did well because of this specific hook. Maybe to some degree, but what about the rest of the script, right? The video did well because of this sound. Maybe, but also what's in the actual video? What are the comments telling you? So do you see how you have to be able to look at everything? You can't get hyper focused, because if you do, you end up in this position of, oh, I had push-up videos do well, so it's because of the push-up video. But it's because of everything it's because of those other things we talked about in the video, and it just so happened to be me doing push-ups, right? And how do we know this to be true? Well, because if that was true, then if we go up here, right, these videos of me getting 300K views, this video that we saw earlier of me doing 2.8 million, right, these wouldn't get any views because it would be because of the push-up videos. But this proves our theory wrong of it's not because of the push-ups, it's because I happen to be doing push-ups and what's in the push-up video. Does that make sense? Very, very important thing to know. So please, if there's one thing you do, guys, do not get hyper fixated on it's this one reason, because it's almost never the case. Okay, so coming down, we're just about done here. That's very important to know, and it's easy to fall into that trap. I don't want you guys to do the same. And I realized, like I said, we went over this. I'm not going to go over it again. But the reason that the Omegle style videos, or that variable, which is like the type of video, right, was because they were Omegle videos. That's why they did well. But also because there's some sort of hook. There's high attention words. There's questionable endings. There's a great sound. There's funny captions. Those are all reasons why the videos are doing well. And they just so happen to also be a push-up style of Omegle video, right? So super important to understand. Like I said, don't be tunnel visioned. I made this mistake early on, and I don't want you guys to as well. And just to really conclude, as we're finishing up here, each drive you take, referencing back to the beginning, aka each post you make, should serve as feedback that you can implement into your future content. Don't ignore the signs that are being given to you with every post you create, right? And you can see here, this proves my theory more. This is funny. This did 4 million views, 14 million, 1.4, 4.2, 600K, right? None of these are push-up videos. They didn't have to be push-up videos. It just proves my point further, 8.7. You can see I still made the mistake. I didn't even realize this to the deep of the capacity that I have now, because you can still see 200K, 100K. If I would have known this information when I first started, I would have been even bigger now. And I'm telling you guys this right now. I was still making this mistake of not recognizing these patterns. Because imagine if I made more videos like these ones and I really analyzed deeper, right? And granted, you're always going to have videos. This isn't a foolproof or fail-proof or whatever process. Like, you're going to have videos that fail even if you do this. It's just the nature of social media. But still, you want to increase your chances. And if you want to, you need to be able to analyze why these videos are doing well. And then I talk about convergent versus divergent thinking. I want to go through this very quickly. Like I talked about, if you guys don't know, great quote by Alex Ramosi, there's no silver bullets, but there's a lot of golden BBs. There's no single variable. It's a lot of variables that contribute, right? And I talked about this in the Omegle style video. One of the golden BBs, right, as opposed to one silver bullet, one thing, many different things. One of them was the Omegle style video, but another one was like the actual content, right? And then the hooks, high attention words. So as shown earlier, you never want to become tunnel vision on a single reason, ever. And then to let this hit home, you know, these are some of the mistakes you might make yourself. This video just didn't perform because of the caption. This video didn't perform because of the hashtags. If this one image was different, then the video would have performed better. If my call to action was just placed right here, this video would have gone viral. You're probably wrong, because there's so many other variables in play when creating content that if you hyper focus, then you're literally going to fail, because you can't think so convergently, if that's a word. And this is what convergent thinking is. And you can't have convergent thinking. You can't think, oh, there's this one solution to this. You have to be a divergent thinker. What is that? It's essentially looking at many different solutions. In school, they teach you to be convergent in terms of your thinking. And that's one of the things that just happens as a result of the process we grow up in. They teach you it's either A or B. You either pass or you fail. But social media is not binary. It's not you passed or failed. It's how much did you pass? How viral did your video go? How great along the continuum is your video? You can't measure it in binary terms. A video doesn't fail or not fail. How bad did it do? How much did it fail and how much did it succeed? So understand that the current frameworks of how you analyze most likely the rest of your life in terms of pass or fail, it doesn't apply to social media. And that's the difference between convergent thinking, which is there's only one solution. It's either A or B, or divergent thinking, which is there's many different solutions to this problem, which I currently have. Last thing, I'm not going to dive too much into this, but because I don't know if I can, but I highly recommend you guys look into the privacy policy on TikTok, because it gives you proof. All these platforms literally tell you what information is being collected and how is it used. And that literally breaks down in a more micro way what I just explained, which is that they're collecting all this data on users, and then they use that data to serve content to individuals on the platform. So this, after you go through this, I recommend you guys just take a look at these two sections in the privacy policy, because it tells you what information do we collect on users and videos, and then how do we use it. And it literally tells you pretty much what I said, but in more complex terms, in terms of we look at this, we look at that, we collect this, we collect that. And then how do we use that information? Well, we use that information to feed content to people in this way. So it literally just tells you. That's what people don't realize, is that these privacy policies like tell you how they're collecting data on the videos. They have to disclose how they use data legally, all companies. So this literally tells you in very clear, obviously not in as clear as I showed it to any degree, but it's just an interesting read. I recommend you guys take a look, because it's actually really interesting. I don't think anyone talks about that, but understand that if these social media algorithms are collecting data, they have to define what data is being collected and how they use it. Very interesting. But congratulations, guys. You've completed the entire course if you've watched it all through. Congratulations. I'm super excited to continue to give you guys awesome resources. I'm super happy that you guys all stuck around because this was a longer one. So I hope I was able to really concise that down. That's years of knowledge put into under 60 minutes. So I hope you guys really understand all those frameworks. If you don't, normal, because the average person needs to read or hear something 7 times before changing or learning something new. In other words, please make sure that you guys go through this course multiple times and you just focus on small improvements daily. If anyone's shining, or if anyone's flashing this trophy in front of your face and saying, this is how I make $10,000 a month, they have no fucking clue what they're talking about. And they're just trying to most likely get you to buy something. That's never going to be me. This is the real shit that you guys need to know. If you really want to make it on social media, which I know if you're listening to this, you do, then take the time to become someone capable of monetizing. Don't make the goal monetization. Make the goal, am I someone who's capable? Look back on your day and say, what skills did I learn today that make me more capable of making money on social media? Because making money on social media, the prerequisite to making money is knowing how to get attention. Once you understand how to get attention, you have unlocked theoretically an infinite money glitch, assuming you then go learn the skill sets, which are vast. As I've showed here, I'll have a whole course on how to actually monetize. But why would I teach you guys how to monetize without teaching you how to actually create content and how I think? So yes, I'm going to have resources on how to monetize in the future. I'll have incredibly valuable creators come and, as a byproduct of me owning OSSA.AI, which if you guys don't know is the company I'm starting that helps you create content using AI. You guys will, if you go through this course, you're going to start to see how valuable OSSA is, because if you guys haven't connected the dots yet, the whole reason the product is the way it is because this exact framework I just gave you, which is you're going to see, oh my God, that's why there's no sound. That's why they don't add sounds. Oh, that's why you can type your whole script and the video is processed, in accordance with the script. Do you see how it all works now? You guys are probably starting to see all these variables are important. And that's why you want to understand these things so that you could use a tool like OSSA, or you could just go create content on your own. You can understand, wow, these are the levers that need to be pulled. So especially for anyone who's using OSSA or not, I'm sure you can kind of see why the tool has been built the way it's been built. It's because there's just certain prerequisites to content creation and building a brand that cannot be relinquished to AI. So regardless of if you guys use the tool or not a big deal. Hope you guys are just enjoying the community and you get a ton of value. Our mission statement is making influence accessible to everyone, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Day in, day out, we just want to help as many people as possible. And if you use OSSA, cool. If you don't, like I said, all good on my part. I just want to see everybody win. And I'm sick of seeing all these people sell younger individuals dreams that don't exist. So please criticize it, look at it yourself, form your own conclusions. I don't know everything. I've done something pretty decent with my brand, but that doesn't mean I know everything. So obviously I'm not selling anything in terms of information. So if that tells you kind of where my head's at versus a lot of these people, this is completely free. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening.